Hi, welcome to Mikey's Video Game Madness. Today we're playing Onimusha Warlords. If I said that wrong, the title was right there, so you can pronounce it the way it's supposed to. But anyway, this is Onimusha Warlords on the PlayStation 2. This was a series that spanned 4 games. My personal favorite is the third game, which actually had the guy who played the French actor that played Leon the Professional. I don't know his name offhand, and that was pretty cool. And it had this character too. The second one and the other ones, I think, all had different characters, but they're kind of cool games. They're like Resident Evil styled games with a samurai slash supernatural theme going on. It's sort of weird to get the play at first because you have tank controls and it's like an action based game, but for whatever reason, the auto targeting and your character's movement actually works fairly well. It would work better if they didn't have the tank controls, but all in all, it works quite well. I didn't think it would before I ever played this. I at the time, Capcom made this, and Capcom was known as being a great company. Capcom's getting better with people's trust and stuff like that. I think their history with Street Fighter V so far hasn't won people over, but they were really on the right track. And what they announced, what they wanted to do originally for Street Fighter V, sounded really well, but of course they didn't follow through. This is the company that had on this DLC on Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which unfortunately is a game I really like, and you had to pay a certain amount of money to unlock characters that were already on the disc because nothing had to be basically downloaded except the unlock key. But all in all, if you don't mind paying for the little extra characters that you get, or you're happy with the roster that you have with the standalone game, I highly suggest that. I think I made a video of it. I really like that game. But anyway, this came out during a time where if Capcom published or developed it, you unquestionably thought it was good. At least if you were a fan of Capcom's games, it always was like a seal of quality. And Capcom was known for their Resident Evil games, and this was Capcom's first big title on the PlayStation 2. This was originally supposed to be a PlayStation 1 game, and they just felt like the frame rate and the technology wasn't quite there on the PlayStation 1, so they waited to release this on the PlayStation 2. Also, a notable thing about this game is they usually use dead actors as the main protagonist. I'm not familiar with Japanese cinema, but just reading articles and stuff like that, the main character that the model is based on was not alive during the making of the game, and they did the same thing with the second one. The actor that plays Leon the Professional was still alive, but the actor in this game, I believe, was on this one. I don't know if I played the fourth, Onimusha, which I believe was the last one to come out. If I did, I don't remember playing it. So I don't think it was probably a bad game. Maybe it was more of the same, or maybe I didn't play it at all. I'd really like to get back into this series after playing this game. The graphics are really nice, and the PlayStation 2's higher end rendering capacity really makes the pre-rendered backgrounds stand out. I was actually quite surprised playing this on an HD television how good the backgrounds actually looked, and the character models looked good too, because since it only has to render pre-rendered backgrounds, they can add more polygons to the characters, creating more believable models. Now with the tank controls, the fight controls are a little bit clunky, but there's like this auto targeting that makes your character automatically face the enemies, and it works, but it's not perfect. I think the third game in this series fixed a lot of this. The cinematics also look really good, by the way. But yeah, I was quite surprised. I got this at a store when visiting my mother. It was the same place I got my X-Files Blu-ray set for the price of like a new PlayStation 4 or 3 game. It was unbelievable considering that's a $200 set. So I happened to look. They sell retro games too. They sell everything really. It's almost like this place has an identity crisis or something. It's really weird. But I happened to go in the PlayStation 2 section, and I know this was a game that I always wanted to revisit. I liked it when it first came out, but I never owned it, and I never gave it as much time as I would have liked. Like I said, the one that I played the most or liked the most was the third game, so obviously that would be the one I put the most time into. And that one actually had 3D backgrounds versus pre-rendered, which looked really good. And you actually went back in time from feudal Japan to Paris, France. It was really cool, actually. I really would like to get that game. And the other ones, I don't remember really being that fond of the second game. There seemed to be a little bit more fetch quests versus like this one is more Resident Evil, and then the third one seems to be more action based, and I don't remember much about the fourth one. I'm not even sure if I played it, so I really can't say anything about that. But I can't remember whether I got this game for $5 or $4. I just know it was cheap, and it was like in mint condition with the book. There wasn't even a fold in the book. I couldn't believe it. I opened it up and it had that new PlayStation 2 game smell. If you don't know what that smell is, it smells good. When you smell it, it's like this case is like, I'm gonna last forever. Like, before I start to decompose, the sun's gonna implode on itself or whatever, because I'm high quality and it just doesn't smell like a PlayStation 4 game. It smells of quality. Not that PlayStation 4 games aren't quality, but if you go back and go back and look at your PlayStation 2 or Xbox One game cases, they're built heavy duty. But anyway, it still had a brand new game smell. That's probably the nerdiest thing I've ever referenced on this channel, and I've referenced a lot of nerdy shit, but yeah. That's a certain smell after you use a game so many times, it loses that brand new smell. I don't know what I'm talking about. I guess it's kind of like the brand new car smell. So you're fighting the undead. After you fight the undead, it'll eventually explain it, but I'm not going to explain it ahead of time, because probably when it does explain it on the game, I'll probably be talking about something else random, because shit happens. But anyway, you fight the enemies, and then there's these little soul orbs or whatever that you actually have to absorb with your gauntlet, and then that's used as currency to level up. Again, the graphics are really good because they can use more polygons for the characters since they don't have to actually render the background. Though I will say, in the third game, with the actual 3D rendered backgrounds, the character models still look really good. This was a very early PlayStation 2 game, and one of the games that came out for PlayStation 2 that actually felt like it was made for PlayStation 2, even though it was originally intended to be a PlayStation 1 game, but they went back and redid everything. I think I remember seeing screenshots a long time ago. I think it was the magazine Electronic Gaming Monthly where they talked about them making this game, and I think I might have saw like a PlayStation 2 screenshot, and it didn't look great. Like, these character models and these monsters and everything really look cool, and I like how the monsters are designed. They kind of look like the creatures and stuff that you would see on some Japanese scrolls, like in history books or whatever. I don't know what show it would be on, like the History Channel. I remember I had this book. I would like to buy it again. It was really interesting. It was a book that covered like the afterlife based on like several different religions, and there's a lot of pictures and stuff in it along with the descriptions and stuff like that. It was called Beyond Death, and it showed like the Japanese afterlife and stuff like that, and it had like monsters and demons and stuff that look a lot like the things that you see in this game, and it's just really cool. And thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this channel, guys and girls. I know I say guys, it's out of habit. Like if there was a room of even girls, I'd probably say thank you guys. Not that I need to over explain that, but I am anyway. What the hell, it's my channel, I'll do what I want. I know that my commentary isn't always the greatest, and a lot of times I do these things extremely tired, and my train of thought's not always working right and stuff like that. And I know I'm not regurgitating and spoon feeding you articles that somebody else wrote, because I don't know. I mean, I know it works for a lot of people, and that's what a lot of people want to hear, you know. I guess it's the same thing as when you get audiobooks, you know, and there's a certain person that you want to read to you. Like maybe you prefer like Stephen King reading you. I mean, excuse me, I said that backwards, and now it's no longer going to be funny. I said maybe you prefer Mr. T reading you a Stephen King book, even though it's still a Stephen King book. A lot of people on YouTube that have popular gaming channels will regurgitate articles to you, but maybe you just like the person that's reading them to you, even though somebody else wrote them. I don't know, that's not my thing. I don't get enjoyment out of it. I just kind of like to chill with all of you. Like, we were all in a room and there was one TV, and I'm just running my mouth as I'm playing the game, and that's the kind of atmosphere that I want to create. And I apologize for the racket upstairs. It almost sounds like they're breaking up. I know I sound super concerned. That's probably because I'm not. But anyway, should I be? I don't know. That'd probably be the good neighborly thing. It's none of my business, you know. They might be fighting over, like, one person wanted peanut butter ice cream and the other person accidentally bought Neapolitan. I don't know. Couples fight over stupid shit. So anyway, thank you so much. See, I told you I'd go off task. Anyway, I thank you guys so much, and it's not even at the end of the video, but I wanted to say thank you before I was rushing at the end of the video. And I just really appreciate you being patient with me. I know this isn't the average channel. I know I'm not bashing the game just for the hell of it, and I'm not trying to say something good just to be fashionable, and I'm not trying to be positive just to be fashionable. If I don't think something's good in a game, I'm gonna do my best to let you know or whatever, but there's just not a lot of bad games that I play. A lot of these games are games I bought, so obviously I'm not going to buy a game I hate, and if I bought a game I hated, I probably would have gotten rid of it. There's a handful of games I covered, but that I didn't really like all that much. I think the last game I really wasn't happy with was Homefront: The Revolution, and that's because I liked the original Homefront so much. I mean, it wasn't a mind-blowing game, but I really enjoyed the concept of it, like guerrilla war fighting as the U.S. is getting invaded, and I was really anxious to see where a sequel was, because Homefront wasn't a very long game, and the sequel that did come out, Homefront: The Revolution, I don't know what it was like on PC, but based on what I've seen screenshot wise on YouTube with the higher frame rate, it seems like things work a little bit better. So when it eventually became on sale, like, I bought it, and I'll probably revisit it in a different video. I probably should be talking about this game, but it's my channel, I can do whatever I want. But anyway, yeah, so I was really disappointed. I made 2 videos of it because the first video was so much, like, there was just too much, too many cutscenes and not enough action. Sorry, that's what I was talking about, where sometimes I can't always get my train of thought. Call it a quirk, whatever. It gives this channel personality. But yeah, so, and then I made a second video with gameplay, and it was just super hard to fight back because the frame rate was I'd say under 25 frames per second sometimes. I apologize, this video is so dark. PlayStation 2 gameplay is really hard to capture. At least with my video device, where it looks the way it does on the television screen, it captures it really dark, and I can lighten the contrast from the editing software, but it doesn't really help you see. It just desaturates everything, and then it just looks like a faded mess, or like this dark void. You can't win either way, so this is the best compromise I could come up with. I have an older capturing device I might try out later on, but that's a whole setup that I'd have to redo, and that would take some time and to get that all set up if that's something I want to cover. But I don't cover PS2 games that often, so it's not on the high priority list. I think you get the idea of what this game is like. But yeah, now that I actually have a real desk, I was about to say, I really don't want to clutter it. At the same time, I want to give you decent videos and cover decent footage, but I don't even know if that footage is going to come out well if I use this other device that I have, like an older device. I don't even know how much better it's going to look, because I want to use half of my desk for artwork and half of the desk for computer stuff. And both of those things kind of come together, because sometimes I'll use Photoshop and stuff like that with my artwork, although I don't know, it's a project that you don't need to hear about. But anyway, this is what the video looks like right now, so I hope you're happy with it. But yeah, thank you for sticking with this channel. I know it's not the most conventional channel, and I'm probably the videos that some people parody where there's like some Ben Stein person. If you don't know who Ben Stein is, maybe you saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the teacher's like, Bueller, you know that guy? That was Ben Stein. He used to have a show called When Ben Stein's Money. I know this channel's international, so I don't know if you know who Ben Stein is. He makes like a lot of strange cameos in movies. He even made a cameo in Ghostbusters 2, and everybody's complaining to the mayor, and Ben Stein comes up and he's like, we've tried all this stuff. I can't quote the film, even though I've seen it 10 billion times. Go figure. And the mayor just looks at him, because they were trying to crack open the slime cocoon on the museum in Ghostbusters 2, and something Ben Stein said, oh, we tried all this stuff, and the mayor says, have you tried dynamite? And then Ben Stein says, we tried everything. That's probably the most acting range he's probably ever had. And then you saw like Cheech Marin and another guy looking out at the port, and the Titanic comes, and you see all these ghosts coming out of the Titanic, and they look at each other, and then Cheech Marin's like, better late than never. That was originally supposed to be the Hindenburg. There's a lot of extra stuff in the Ghostbusters 2 Blu-ray, but not as much stuff as the Ghostbusters 1 DVD and Blu-ray. I think the original DVD release, I'm talking about like the 1999 version DVD release that like had all the little Ghostbuster symbols all over it. I kept it because it has like the most features out of every release of Ghostbusters. I think there's some restoration on the card, some interview with Dan Aykroyd on the Blu-rays, but I'd rather see behind the scenes stuff. But Ghostbusters 2 never really got a decent special feature Blu-ray or DVD. I mean, there were some deleted scenes in the new Blu-ray that just came out. I'm sure the same shit's on the 4K, or maybe the 4K version's bare bones. I don't know. I don't have a 4K player or an Xbox One S, since that's a thing now. But yeah, anyway, this game's good. It's sort of weird to get used to the tank controls. I think this would be a perfect candidate if Capcom's listening. Not, they don't listen. If I don't get anybody, if I barely get any people, which the few people that watch my channel, I do appreciate it, and you guys and your kind comments are one of the things that keeps me going, beside my own selfishness of making this channel. But yeah, this, if somebody from Capcom's listening, which is highly unlikely since most people in general don't listen to my channel or watch it, including family members and friends, which is kind of depressing and funny at the same time. But anyway, yeah, this would make a perfect like HD remaster compilation, and I'm sure it would be super cheap for Capcom. I mean, the graphics actually don't look too bad. Like, they don't have to probably go the same extremes that they did with the Resident Evil HD remasters or whatever. I think these games look good on their own, but like maybe add like normal controls instead of tank controls. It's like 4 games. That would be worth the money. That would be worth the 60. Sorry, I suddenly got the hiccups. Hold on. Sorry about that. I don't want to be gross in the microphone. This microphone picks up everything. I mean, on one hand, that's a great value of a microphone. On the other hand, I have to be careful. But anyway, yeah, that would be an awesome compilation set. Like 4 games, I would happily spend $60 for, assuming it was on a physical disc, because I don't want that stuff harboring space on my hard drive when I could have other stuff there instead. Because I don't know, when it comes to downloadable games, which I have a 2 terabyte hard drive on my PlayStation 2, and it's always filled up, and it's starting to be, because like these games that have like DLC and stuff like that on them, like even if you get the Game of the Year edition, you still got to get vouchers and stuff like that come with the Game of the Year edition. They're not putting the stuff on disc, so there's always that constant fear that like if I erase the game temporarily and it's DLC temporarily to make room to play another game, that once the servers go down or something goes wrong or somebody loses a license or something like that, they'll take it off of the server and I'll never play it again. And I know that's life or whatever, but if I can prevent it, I try to prevent it, and I don't know. But yeah, like games like this would be great on a Blu-ray, and I'm sure they could fit every single game on a Blu-ray since all these games originally came out on a DVD. And I think it would look nice in 1080p and not have tank controls. And if they want to give the treatment, I think the backgrounds look good enough as is. If they want to blow up the screen and just have like that pan and scan thing and the option to have it cropped on the sides, that'd be fine. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel by just watching it and commenting, and I appreciate it. Hope you're all well. Take care. Bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.